Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tearing down the traditional walls of real estate and looking at how technology is completely rewriting the physical world around us. We're drawing all of our insights directly from the Architecting the Future report, which is honestly an incredible reality check on this whole new property paradigm. Let's get right into it.
Let's kick things off with a massive number, $300 trillion. That is the global real estate market. We're talking about one of the world's largest, most influential asset classes. For centuries, it's been entirely defined by heavy, immovable physical assets, bricks, mortar, steel. But right now, as we speak, that entire $300 trillion ecosystem is literally being rewritten by invisible code.
To really grasp the magnitude of this shift, we gotta look at the timeline of property itself. In antiquity, real estate meant the heavy stones forming the first paved roads in Babylon. Centuries ago, it evolved into the concept of land as a natural right. By the 1990s, we saw a massive leap with the rise of digital platforms, which made property discovery so much more transparent. And that brings us to today. We're in a world where the physical and digital totally merge, letting us hold fractional ownership of a physical asset through weightless digital tokens. It's a huge leap.
Here is how we're going to break it all down today. 1. The $300 trillion code rewrite. 2. 3 forces reshaping real estate. 3. The construction evolution. 4. Global trends and roadblocks. And 5. The new property mantra.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the $300 trillion code rewrite.
Look, for decades, this industry leaned on strict, professional standards, highly structured financing, and really slow traditional development. But the core takeaway here is that we've crossed a threshold. The sector is officially entering a completely new phase. It's not just about the physical building anymore, it's being actively reshaped by advanced tech and digital ownership models. Today, intelligent infrastructure is absolutely not a luxury upgrade, it's the bare minimum baseline for modern development.
Moving right along to Section 2, 3 forces reshaping real estate.
The source material points to a triad of massive forces acting as the ultimate catalyst for this evolution. We're looking at artificial intelligence, tokenization, and infrastructure readiness. These aren't just isolated tech trends. They are interconnected gears turning this $300 trillion machine. Without any one of these 3 forces, the entire transformation would stall out. Let's break them down.
First up, artificial intelligence. And no, it's not just a buzzword here. It is deeply embedded in property tech, specifically through a brilliant 4-step process for predictive maintenance. The AI continuously monitors asset data in real time. That means property managers spot structural or mechanical issues incredibly early. By doing that, they prevent massive, costly physical failures before a pipe even bursts or a system breaks down. It's radically improving asset longevity. Basically, the building is taking care of itself.
Next is tokenization. The crucial point here is that tokenization fundamentally democratizes access. Historically, investing in a multi-million-dollar commercial building was reserved for massive institutions. Now, through digital tokens, those assets are sliced up into fractional shares. It means broader, everyday participation in high-value real estate is actually possible. You could theoretically own a tiny digital fraction of a skyscraper halfway across the world. It completely flips the script on who gets to play in this market.
The third force is infrastructure readiness, because while the digital side is moving at warp speed, the physical environment simply has to keep up. Property value is now tied directly to some strict requirements. A building isn't ready for the future if it lacks reliable energy access. You've got to power all these smart systems, right? It requires seamless digital connectivity to even function. And above all, long-term sustainability is non-negotiable for future value creation.
Which brings us to Section 3, the construction evolution. We're seeing a night and day contrast on actual job sites worldwide. Traditional construction is known for lengthy timelines, rigid processes, and building everything right there in the dirt. But today, there's a massive shift toward modular construction. By building components off-site and basically assembling them, we're seeing drastically reduced timelines, vastly improved efficiency, and scalable solutions that work for both housing and massive commercial projects. It is a total reinvention of how we build.
But of course, we aren't just building from scratch. This quote from the report is super important. Retrofitting older buildings to meet modern environmental and efficiency standards is emerging as a major investment theme. Think about it. There are millions of existing structures worldwide. Upgrading these older buildings so they actually have that reliable energy and sustainability we just talked about, that's quickly becoming one of the most lucrative and necessary investment themes in the entire sector.
Now let's zoom out a bit for Section 4, Global Trends and Roadblocks.
Globally, the demand map is being entirely redrawn. Emerging cities are seeing massive growth, driven by new financing models and fresh investment capital. Meanwhile, logistics and industrial real estate are absolutely surging, largely thanks to the unrelenting demands of e-commerce. And housing is fundamentally changing too, actively reshaped by shifting demographic and residency patterns all over the world.
However, it's not all smooth sailing. This immense opportunity is slamming into some severe roadblocks. Progress is heavily weighed down by acute workforce shortages. We literally just don't have enough skilled workers to build the future fast enough. Throw in skyrocketing material costs and the sheer, mind-bending difficulty of building resilient infrastructure at scale. Well, these are the very real battles developers are fighting every single day.
Let's wrap things up with Section 5, the new property mantra.
For generations, if you asked anyone in real estate what mattered most, they tell you 3 words: location, location, location. That was the old paradigm. But the ultimate takeaway from this explainer is that the golden rule has officially been rewritten. The new paradigm relies on a completely different set of pillars. Value is now driven by intelligence. How smart and predictive is the building? Accessibility. How easily can everyday people invest via tokens? And infrastructure. Is it built sustainably for the future? So as we close out our analysis of architecting the future, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. Are you ready for a future where the value of property is defined by its digital intelligence rather than just its physical location? It is wild to think about how we're going to interact with, invest in, and live inside physical spaces now that they are fundamentally built on invisible code. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. I'll catch you next time.